Molweni kaphinde on this beautiful Wednesday. Kanike silapha kwIncoko the Chat Podcast each and every Wednesday ngo 8 o'clock until sibone ke basiphelelwa into yokuthetha apha kwIncoko the Chat Podcast. Kanike yayazi ngoba each and every Wednesday ndihlala nabantu aba different basuka kwindawo ngendawo. Abanye ngabalapha eKomani, abanye engobalapha eKomani. Kanike sorry guys for last week Wednesday guys was live because of a guest yethu. Yeah, sphoxa nje kancinci. Otherwise silapha namhlanje. If ever ulapho endlini usibukele, please leave comments phake ku YouTube Supreme Media SA okanye search Incoko the Chat Show okanye Incoko the Chat Podcast on every social media platform. Leave us comments there, hit the notification button so that each and every time say live nawe uzosibona ba say live. Namhlanje guys, we're talking a lot of things. Sinazo ke topics if izibona pha emva kwami, we have a lot of topics. We've got inspirational, we've got lifestyle, we've got health, we've got religion, we've got business, and we've got trending topics. Everything is going by Iraba right for nina nihleli apho endlini. Leave comments ke sibone ukuba nihleli nathi manyani namhlanje. Kanti ke nayo pha comment before siye kude. I've got two comments apha phambi kwami from Gilbert uthi phana ke my pastor. Kanti ke sinaye pha uThabisile Wendy isithi we are here. Sizohlala nani guys ubusuku bonke namhlanje. Bona if ever bekusiya ngami ngene ngicela banhleli nabani namhlanje, ngene ngicela banhleli nabani guest yami ngoku ngihleli nani, ngene ngicela banhleli nabani, but unfortunately funeke nizibonele if ever umamele nje awubukelanga sozumbona, kanti ke if ubukele uzambona banhleli nabani namhlanje. Let's go. So okay. Please drop those comments so that abantu bazobona basihleli nabani. Please share the live so that abantu bazibona basihleli siphi na. You can comment even on Facebook. We are live on Facebook. Search Incoko the Chat Podcast. Uzasibona basi live ndawoni na. Mfundisi kunjani?
Siyaphila man. Ninjani mfo?
Nami ndiyaphila mfundisi.
What a blessing.
Yabona umzimba yakhe mfundisi.
Koba sathiwani. Such is life. So
right.
glad.
Mfundisi namhlanje ndiyabelieve into kuba baninzi abantu abasibukeleyo because this is our first topic esiqala uthetha ngayo namhlanje, i-religion.
Okay.
And ndiyacinga into kuba baninzi nolutsha oluphaphande oluthi ndiyarhalela uba kule ndawo ukuyo namhlanje, and abanye babo zininzi izinto ezibabambileyo but because of bengasazi kukho into ke ndeke ndayifunda pha eBhayibhileni ithi unyana wolahleko something
Yes.
Wouldn't go deeper because nami ndisemtsha.
Okay.
Mhlawumbi nami ndizofika.
Sikulindile.
First, before we continue with our interview, ndicela uzazise.
Thank you so much. I would love to appreciate firstly the opportunity to be here. I want to greet all our viewers on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching from the comfort of your home, eTexini, eBhasini, your office. Thank you for tuning in. Longu Pastor Joseph Nxumalo, uyazalwa eLsikisiki, based here in Queenstown, married with one wife, Usimo. An assistant pastor at Shalom Temple, and a born-again child of God, a lover of Jesus, and a servant of God. In a nutshell, Pastor Joseph Nxumalo, and I'm so glad to be here tonight.
Jabule nam Pastor Joseph ba ufike wafika namhlanje.
Thank you, sir.
Ndihlale nawe. Pastor Joseph, baninzi bentshilo ke xa uthetha apha baninzi abantu abangangam abasebatsha. I believe ndoba kule age ndikuyo, that's the age uqale ukuyo. Ndifuna ubuza what was driving you from that age usemncinci ngola hlobo?
Okay, firstly mina ndikhulele in a Christian home. Utata onzalayo was a deacon, my mama was a deaconess. So utata groomed us to fear and to honor God. We knew from our church, Sundays are for church. Yes. It was non-negotiable. Uba kwenzeke waba late when my dad dumisa imoto ephuma uphethe noba zikaus noba zisihlangu agqibaka unqibele emotweni, because we knew that Sundays were for church. We knew that in the evenings there were prayers. Ufuneka ube memory verse, ufuneka ukuthi uve ntoni ecaweni. So that created the atmosphere for me to fear God. So having godly parents was a great blessing to me. Yenza lonto ndakhula ecaweni, ndakhula ndimoyika uThixo, ndakhula ndimthanda. So there's nothing else that I know besides church and being in the presence of God. Having said that, there are people abangakhulanga benabazali basenkonzweni, but they got to know Jesus, they got to know God, and so on and so forth. So that's how it began.
Okay.
And then I think that my first appearance preaching okanye saying Guti, I love church, I'm called and so on, was 14 years old in 2007. I think this is my first appearance in Shumaela, and I was doing grade 8. While Ongasekho Mfundisi Dobo was my pastor then, he would even call me, hey, you are evangelist, international evangelist, and so on. I did not know what it meant, but I think in a nutshell, that's how it began. All
right. Continue with the conversation. Kukho lanto iti siyakhula silulutsha. Ndiyazi nini mna into yokuba ndinayo ngokule calling ye Christianity.
Okay, firstly, before we speak about different callings, the fundamental calling in Christianity is the call to salvation.
Okay.
Before you are called to be a pastor, you are called to do this and that at church. The first and the most important call, actually in anyone's life, is the call to salvation. The book of 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse says, he wants everyone to get to understand the truth and be saved. God's desire for everyone, young and old, rich and poor, is that mabasindiswe bafikele kuyazininyaniswa. So if you hear the word of God being preached, you must know that's an opportunity for you to get saved. And abanye abantu uyathi umuntu my life is far too gone. It can never be changed. Say mhlambe I've done so many wrong things. We say ndimosha abazali, ndamosha community, namdazilimaza. I want to tell you, there's no life that is far too gone that God cannot be able to renew it. So you must know that the first call and the most fundamental call in everybody's life is the call to salvation, the saving and the salvation of your soul. Apha kuwe era ndibalekile is your soul. You know ndibalekile ngaphezulu kwezinto zonke. Uthi ubishop when he preach Bishop Hlengane, that's why xa utshona, xa usaphila uyakwazi ukutshona emanzini. But once xa sowufile uyafloat because umphefumulo iyona nto isisindayo seyiphumile. Because the most important thing in your life umphefumulo wakho. The most important commodity in your life umphefumulo wakho. Xa sowuswelekile uba ngumuntu nje nasemoshwara unakwa uba ngumuntu noma unga rich because umphefumulo wakho utheni uphumile. Yes. So a call to salvation it brings security to your soul. So yana nto ibalulekileyo i calling everybody ondibukeleyo emakhaya wherever. The greatest call that everybody should answer, especially young people who still have a lot ahead in their lives, they must accept the call to salvation, that their souls may be saved and changed forever.
All right. Ndimane ndikusiya phansi phinde siye kwi-comments zethu because baninzi abantu ababukeleyo namhlanje. Sinayo isipho sethu noRusho nalama ndifuna kahle noRusho. Uthi we are here, Pastor J, ready to listen to. Kanti uthi yena phaa uGilbert. All right. Mfundisi, baninzi abantu banale calling.
Okay.
So ndifuna ukubuza into yoba zonke i-Christians zinayo le calling into yoba ngoku ndibizelwa i-Christianity.
The fact that you are called a Christian, when we say you're a Christian, it means you are Christ-like. It means, so you can't be a Christian and you are not called to salvation. So the fact that you say you are a Christian, it means you are called to a life of trying to be Christ-like. Yoba uzame uba ufana noYesu by character, knowing what he did, knowing what he did not do, knowing what he taught. Knowing what he taught for and what he taught against. So when we say we are being called, you can't say you are a Christian and then you are not called, to salvation, because being Christian is being Christ-like. So everybody ongum Christu genuinely is called first to salvation. Then there will be other callings, being a pastor, this and that and that and that. Those comes after the principal call of being called to salvation.
Okay. What can Mr. Gilbert, how do you manage a business and ministry?
I think when we say how to manage business and ministry, these two things are important, but they run different spaces in my life. For example, when I do business for me to live and for me to be able to serve God. Okay. So it's important that I do business so that I can be able to live and serve God. All right. And also, I cannot focus on business and forget God, because what would be my reason for me to live if I don't live for God? But also for me to live and serve God, I need business so that I can be able to live and serve God. So these two things are important. It's important to make time. You must not be like, you don't live like a fool. You plan your life around. You know when it's time for business, you know when it's time for church, but you don't neglect the two. But the most important is living for God,
Okay.
and living for your purpose and living for your destiny. And then you use your business, your career, and whatsoever to feed the purpose yokuba userve uThixo and his people. Because we must love God, we must love his work, and we must love his people. Ukuze sibonise lo thando ke kuye, sibonise nakubantu bakhe nasemsebenzini wakhe. We need the resources that come from business so that we can be able to live our lives as we fulfill him.
By the time we were talking, you said you've got a wife and a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've managed business and then you've managed the ministry. Then let's talk about the wife and the kid.
Okay.
The management there, how do you take things?
I think as I said before, it all goes to planning.
Okay.
Mostly, for example, now I know when I'm traveling for my preaching. For example, this weekend I was preaching in PE. Lendiyokuba I'm preaching in PE, it did not come by surprise. I knew long time ago that I'm preaching in PE. Yesterday I was driving my man of God, the bishop, to Amtata. I knew that I was going to be driving him. So nothing comes by surprise. It means I know that this weekend I'm going there. This weekend I'll be going with my family. I'm with my family. I'm doing this and that and that. So nothing takes me by surprise. Okay. So anyone who neglects God saying it's because of family, they are lying. Anyone who neglects family and they say it's because of God, they are not telling the truth, because you are playing around. A good example, family yakho, because there's time for school and there's time for family. It's just that when they come to God, they say God takes time for family, of which is not true. Unless you are trying to say God did not have time in your life, then it's a different thing altogether.
All right. Funis, can a calling be unrelated to church or job or mission?
By saying unrelated, maybe you can find another word. But what I can say is that mostly a calling is not only what you do in the parameters yes. But a calling is what God has called you to be and what God has called you to do. For example, you are in the media crew, the technical team. That's your business and that's your career. That's what you do. Yes. But that can tend to be a calling within the borders of the church, because you can help the church to propagate good news of the gospel. So if passions zako, net talents zako, that's your call. Yes. But when you must then divert them so that they can be a blessing to the kingdom of God, blessing to the church, blessing to God. So nzamukuti kunqabile ukuthi xa vela kubizele enye into within the church and akubizele enye into ngaphandle. Yes. For example, you'll realize that people who are preachers in the church, even outside, God calls them ubabasebenzi into ethethisayo. Yes, into nokuthetha phaka engage abantu, because yonke into yenzayo, you must know, it's always connected to your purpose and to your destiny. So it's quite rare that God calls you differently on these different parts.
So if ever mfundisi singathetha ngezinye ngamanye amabizo kanye ngezinye calling, singathetha ngeziphi other than the calling of God?
I think within the calling of God, I can speak that you can be called to be a pastor. You can be called to work in the church, because, for example, after the primary call, you are called to salvation. You are then called for God's mission. That's for all Christians. They must work for God. They must do the works of God while they are still alive. They must do the works of God while they still have time. They must do the works of God while they still have energy. Because loving God is doing everything to serve his people. And then the call of God that is specific, that you must become a pastor, that you must become an administrator, that you must become a teacher of the word, an apostle, or what so on. So these are the different types of calling. When they're sure that you try and discover it in your early stages of your life and pursue it early, as soon as you can, because for example, now learning a new language when you're old is difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult.
It's difficult. So English, it's easy to learn it when you're still young. Any other language, in fact. But the more you grow, the difficult it becomes to grab. If you drive while usemncinci kulula ukukhetha apha ukhawuleze ukwazi ukuqhuba, but ufunza umuntu omdala ukuqhuba kunzima. It's not easy. So it's important that you answer the call very early and attempt to walk in it as soon as you can.
So mfundisi, before ndiyokuselisa amanzi,
Okay.
for umuntu ongangam othi mna I'm trying by all means to go to church, but I don't know into endibambileyo okanye zeziphi ezi signs ndizidingayo for me to be there. So ndifuna uyazi ezo signs iyazi uba umuntu omtsha onobizo lokuba makaye ecaweni okanye makabe Christian.
Call to salvation.
Call to
Yes.
salvation. Uzibona njani zeziphi ezi signs?
I-call to salvation is a fundamental thing. Njengokuya esikolweni, yeyiphi isayini oyidinga ukuze esikolweni? Awudingi isayini. It's something that you must do.
Yes.
And okwesibini, esikolweni kuyonqine ukuya esikolweni mos, but you still go. So salvation is something that is important that you have to do. Whether there are challenges, esikolweni uya noba kuyanetha, uya noba uyonqina, uya noba you don't feel like going because you understand that's an important thing. So the call to salvation is an important thing that we just have to answer. No matter what.
Let's go to an ad break, and get us back a break. I'm going to read your comments esnazo. You can leave your comments on Facebook, on YouTube, and then stay there.
Stay tuned.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for staying with us. Go Facebook, go YouTube, Facebook and YouTube. Zininski accounts see live kuzo go Facebook. You can search Joseph Nxumalo. You'll see we live. You can search Prince White. You can see we live. Supreme Media SA on YouTube. We are live. Again, Fundiswam.
Thank you, sir.
Ininzi-ke into bemlasayithetha namhlanje.
Yes, sir.
And andifuni umama
Shabala ixesha.
andifuni belitshaba ixesha namhlanje. Ndifuna sincokola yonke into esifuna ukuyincokola. We were talking before I cut you off siyeke breaking about ulutsha elingayaziyo into yokuba ngoku ndibiziwe.
Okay.
Yeah, so if akhona nje amazwi ofuna ugqithisa kuloo nto then sigqithe kuyo.
As I was saying, thank you so much to those who are watching us from the comfort of their homes. God bless you. Now, I started by saying, anything that is important, you do it in spite and despite challenges.
Yes.
Going to school, we go to school, but we go anyway.
Yes.
Such is the call to salvation. Because ukusindwa komphefumulo wakho, it means even eternity your soul is safe. So it means into xa ibalekile you give it your all. Ke ndibona abantu mna behluphekile baye esikolweni. Ke ndibona abantu begula baye esikolweni. Ke ndibona abantu bephoxekile baye esikolweni. If you can do that for isikolo, how much more, because isikolo siphela apha emhlabeni. Xa soswelekile isikolo does nothing for you. Xa soswelekile certificate isishiyeka apha, but kukhona into that goes beyond the grave, which is the salvation of your soul. So there's no young person who can have an excuse at difficult kutheni. Pull everything that you can do so that umphefumulo wakho ube usindile usendaweni safe. So I'm trying to say to any young person who feels like ekusindisa ku difficult ku10, it might be difficult, but give it your all, give it your best shot, and I'm telling you, you will thank yourself in the life to come. Xa sozibona usendaweni safe umphefumulo wakho usendaweni ephephileyo.
Right. Before siqhubekeke ndipha imibuzweni yami, mandifunde comments zabantu abahleli nathi pha. Uthi such is the calling to Azizipho Azisenteni. Beke phake uthi omnye watching from Durban, uLungisani Gonda, andisiwe nguwatha athi Pastor J, mfundisi wam, we are here kuthiwa uzwelitsha Mthwane. Wendy Lucasi kanye Lusisi Hlengani uthi oku kwe nails. All right. Uhuru, okay. Utonye Pazwide.
Thank you.
Sinazo Mazikote uti powerful. What a answer for salvation. Chopake uhlungwane Pilani. Pastor Joseph. Chopa ukaya Nxumalo. Zininzi comments, guys. I'm gonna go back to your comments. Mfundisi wam, silulutsha ndifuna uyazi noba zeziphi ezi obstacles okanye i-challenges that umntu omtsha can face when pursuing i-calling yakhe kanye bangayi-overcome njani loo nto?
I think the first challenge or obstacle that you can always encounter with your call and any effort oyenza as a young person is your age. Because when people bekubona umncinci nakwintoni na, they will undermine you and reject you because they feel like you are inexperienced. They feel like awuyazi lento uyenzayo. But I know that if you contribute izinto is undeniable, if you do undeniable contributions, and then you produce results that are undeniable, abantu they begin to respect you because of your results. For example, uma umuntu ufike uqhuba imoto akubona umncinci uzoqala ahlale aziqoqe, but as they see you drive ekubona driver uyayikhululeka. So unfortunately people will undermine. For example, if when you start a business center, because it's still in its young age, I change, but you must keep on producing, you must keep on giving production until people begin to trust you. So any young person who's called to salvation, called to serve God, called to do the will of God, called to do the works of God, you must know that abantu will undermine you because of your age, because you are inexperienced. But I want to tell you, lonto yenzekile in the olden days, yenzekile nakuthi. Imagine a young person like me who is pastoring a church. His Grace Bishop Hlengane gave me to pastor church when I was 23. I was pastoring a church. Imagine a young pastor like me. You come to church, those days I didn't have this stage that I have, but I had to prove myself by continuing to give production. As I gave production, people respected me above and beyond how I looked and what they saw ebusweni bam, because I kept on contributing undeniable contributions. So abantu uyabehlula nge-results noba bekuhleba bathi hayi ngenxa ye-results zakhe masimnyamezeleni lo muntu because lo muntu uyadeliver, therefore you can trust. Okwesibini, i-obstacle yesibini is mostly their sexual desire.
Yes.
Young people have messed up their lives because they can't control their sexual desires. They've messed up their careers, they've messed up their families, they've messed up their physical bodies because they can't control their sexual desires. If you're a young person, you cannot control your sexual desire. I'm telling you, you will kill yourself. I'm telling you, you will mess up your career, you will mess up everything on I. Because a person without self-control is like a city without walls. It means you are not safe. Yes. So you must be able to control your sexual desires. We are not, it's only animals that can't control their sexual desires. So if you can't control and put your sexual desires intact, you'll be a person ozongabiyo nto mhlawumbe abantu abaninto bangasecaweni. It's because they can't control their sexual desires, of which the call to salvation gives you the ability to be able to control yourself, so that anything that you do it under self-control. So these two obstacles are the most fundamental obstacles that people meet as abangakwazi to answer the fundamental call to salvation and pursue other calls that are found within the religious sector, being a pastor, serving a church, and so on and so forth.
Mfundisi wami, ndikuve uthetha Pastor Hlengane.
Yes.
Nurturing you. So ndifuna uyazi noba, is there any support ecaweni ethi as for me umuntu ofuna ukuya ecaweni ndifuna uyazi le support bangandinika yona in terms of nurturing mna as umuntu omtsha?
Actually, the church and having a pastor becomes a launching pad for your calling. I met Bishop Hlengane, as far as I can remember, is 1999. I think I was 6 years old. That's how far I've known the man. And he has been a tremendous blessing in my life. He has been guiding me through my businesses, guiding me when it was time for me to marry, guiding me in terms of answering the call, guiding me when I was tired, guiding me when I was discouraged, guiding me when I thought what I'm doing is nothing, but he was there guiding me. Obviously, having a church. You can't say you are called by God and you are called to salvation, you are called to work for God, but you don't have an institution that you are working from. Because the institution protects you, the institution trains you, the institution creates a platform. Imagine, if I say I'm called to be a pastor, I need a church that will allow me to pastor. Yeah. If I say I'm called to be an evangelist, I need a church that will create a platform for me to evangelize. If I'm called to sing, I need a church, even if I have a mic, but I won't just sing in the street. I need a church that will give me a platform. So the church is the best place to nurture you and to help you to grow. The Bible says in the book of 2 Chronicles 24, verse 2, Joash did what was right in the sight of the Lord all the days of Joiada the priest. So this was a young man called Joash. He was a king when he was 7 years old. But he did right in the time when he was with Joiada the priest. So having a pastor in your life is the greatest blessing in your life. I'm a pastor now, but I still have a pastor even myself. A pastor who rebukes me, a pastor who encourages me, a pastor who prays for me, a pastor who guides me. So if you're a young person, ubiziwe mfo. Actually, even you, go out and look for it. What was for the fundis? Go out and look for Yes. So young people, when you are called, don't be pompous and think because you are called, you don't need anyone. Even lawyers, they need senior lawyers. Even doctors, even engineers. You can't come from school and then assume that you know everything. So in order for you to go forward, Iqa will give them the platform, will rebuke them. Iqa will have a pastor that will nurture them and groom them. So you can't be called outside the parameters of having a local church. So if you are a young person and you are called, have a local church. I mean, the local church does a lot in your life to change you, to build you, and make you one of the best people. I'm a product of Bishop Hlengane. I'm a product of Shalom Temple. Shalom Temple gave me a platform to be a pastor, to exercise my skills and my callings. So now when the nations of the world benefit from who I am, it's because I had a pastor next to me, and I have a church that gave me a platform to be what I am today.
All right, Funis, what role does mentorship play in helping young people discover and fulfill their calling?
Anyone who does not have mentorship does not have guidance. And without guidance, you are walking in the dark.
Yes.
No matter how anointed and how called you are, no matter how skilled you are, you will always need a mentor.
Yes.
Look at professionals ezisebenzayo. They always have supervisors. Why? Because akekho umuntu apha emhlabeni okwazi ukuprogress nokuprosperisha without having somebody who's supervising their lives. So it is very important that in your call, in your career, in your business, whatever you're doing, have somebody who's more experienced than you, guiding you and leading you.
All right. Before ndimbuze umgqibela mfundisi namhlanje
Okay.
for namhlanje siboleke phaa kwi-comments zethu watching from Durban lungisani Qonda uthi ke Pastor J. Okay, sigqithile phaa. What a answer for salvation. Sibaleke siye phaa simamele Ndevana. Pastor J. Uyanga Mzogisi Chiefta called to serve my church azizipho azisenteni. Uthi omnye phaa Pastor Joseph Mandisa Songha watching from Queenstown Abel Nxumalo. Watching from Durban, Pastor J. Pelela Nxumalo. Good evening, Pastor J. Guys, please. All right, Mfundisi. Anyone who does not have mentorship does not have a future, Mfundisi. Utsho phaa ke uzwelitsha mthwane. Mfundisi wami, ngizawucela man ukugqibela nje for namhlanje.
Yes, sir.
Ujonge kula camera. Ndicela ke ngoku unike ulutsha lwethu a message of advice okanye a message of encouragement to abantu ababukeleyo nolutsha lwethu.
Thank you so much. I'm going to say this, then I'm going to make an announcement after this.
Yes.
Number one, do not delay. You do not have time. Everyone, xa umuntu ekhula, they assume that they have so much time. Ngicela ukuxela namhlanje, kwi-call yakho to salvation, you don't have time. Kwi-call yakho in your career, in your business, you do not have time. Start now. Start today. Do not procrastinate. El xesha unalo namhlanje, le opportunity onayo namhlanje awuzuba nayo ngomsa. Qala namhlanje, because if you don't start now, you will delay yourself. Number two, get a pastor, get a church. That will be a launching pad to many things in life. Abantu abakhulu nabantu abazizinto namhlanje, even the people who sing hip hop, house and whatever, if you go and listen, you realize the church is the best place that will mold your morals, that will help you to be the best person in life. Do not be discouraged. Setbacks are a part of life. If uqalile was one a setback, do not be discouraged. If there are no setbacks, it means you are not doing anything. Everyone who's not doing anything, they don't have setbacks in life. Anyone who's not doing anything, they don't fail in life. Failures and disappointments are part of the road for people who are progressing. Anyone who does not have failures, who does not have scars, who is not discouraged every now and then, is somebody who's not doing anything. But anyone who's doing something is criticized, will get tired, will feel like they want to give up. But I want to encourage you by the message of God. Stand up, rise up, lift up your head, pull up that chest. The world is waiting for you. Your family depends on you. Your country depends on you. And this generation depends on you. When you die, we want to say, this person was a light to us and was a beacon of hope. These are my words. Do not be discouraged. Do not allow the devil to tell you, you are nothing. You are something. That is why you are still alive. God bless you. Be encouraged.
Yes, mfundisi wami, enkosi kakhulu man for fika namhlanje.
Thank you, sir.
Sicela ke announcement.
Thank you so much.
The announcement yakho
The
yokugqibela.
announcement.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I want to encourage everybody that from Thursday next week until Sunday, we have a conference. Glam for His Glory Conference. Glam for His Glory Conference. It's a sisters and a women's conference. Though it is organized for women, but everybody is invited. Ukusukela ngolesine uyotsho ngecawa, ngolesine ebusuku, ngolesihlanu ekuseni, ngolesihlanu emini, ngomgqibelo ekuseni, ngomgqibelo emini nangecawe. We have a powerful lineup in our church, Shalom Temple, G4G, Claim for His Glory Conference. Lady Bishop Hlengane is a host and she'll be ministering. Ngolesine, it's a business affair. Ngolesine, people for abane businesses will be given a platform to advertise their businesses. ngolesihlanu ekuseni there's a glam talk. Pastor Tabisa Mkhwebi from King Williamstown, a very powerful and renowned speaker, will be speaking to girls. In the evening, we have a revival service with the prophetess Zandi Mazwi, or a prayer summit, osuka all the way from Durban. Our spirits and our lives will be revived. Ngomgqibelo ekuseni, there's a glam clinic where kuzobe kuthethwa nge-health of women. Ngomgqibelo in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, it's a royal dinner. We are going to be enjoying ourselves in a very powerful setup. The entry ticket is only 50 rands. We will be having Ulondi Nxumalo and other wonderful guests. And of course, on Sunday, it's a glam finale. We are closing the weekend, and Bishop Tlengana will be part of us. Lady Bishop will be part of us, and a lot of things. So I want to invite you, Sister Lesiton and Ndlovukazi, Lesiton 1, on your way to Alwa North and Ndlovukazi. We will be there for that conference from Thursday up until Sunday. Make sure you tune in. Follow us on our Facebook page, Shalom Temple. You'll get all the details prior. Follow myself, Joseph Nxumalo, or you can follow Lady Bishop Tlengane on Facebook, and you will find us there. Please make sure ngolesine ukuya ngolesihlanu next week umqhamsholo uselesiton Shalom Temple. God bless you. Hoping to see you there. If you need any details, we also have transport here from town, Aya and Ndlovukazi. God bless you. We love you. Thank you so much. Hoping to see you soon. God bless you.
All right. Incoko the Chat Podcast. Thank you, Mr. Joseph Nxumalo. Can about if ever you want to see next week, Wednesday, please hit the notification button. Share this live on every social media platform. If ever you go to Facebook, go to Joseph Nxumalo. You're going to see this live. Share it. If ever you on Facebook again, Prince White. If ever you're on YouTube, Supreme Media SA. Okay, you can search Incoko the Chat Podcast, Incoko the Chat Show. You will see. Good night.
See you on the flip side.